Welcome to Gamers Land Collectibles, and in today's video I'm going to discuss what's probably been discussed a million times before, and that's getting started on an eBay store right after this. Welcome, it's your boy Gamers, and first and most importantly, thank you so much for being here today and for tuning in. If you're here, I'm guessing you're new trying to sell on eBay, or you've been doing it for a while and you're just here seeing how others approach the eBay scene. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about myself and what kind of store I run on eBay and what products I'm into selling. Then we'll jump into the nitty-gritty of things and what I've learned in the last few years doing eBay. Also, before I get started, I just want to mention that I am not a huge seller, nor am I one of the ones that are making 20 to 30 grand a year on eBay, which honestly I feel gives the video more of a real feeling to it, coming from someone that truly does this part-time, juggling a family and a normal 9 to 5. So yeah, let's begin. So Gamersland is the name and reselling is the game, and I know that it's cheesy as all hell, but it is what it is, man. That's what today's video is all about. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope you guys learned something from this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll try to get back to as many people as I can. And not only that, man, I'll probably put my email somewhere. You guys can email me privately if you're having a hard time with something, or you want to really a little more in-depth one-on-one conversation on how to get things going. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and start off with a little bit about myself and what it is that I sell and what it is that I do. So I got started on eBay about 2 to 3 years ago. Prior to eBay, I was selling little odd things on like Craigslist and OfferUp, mainly local sales. I honestly began, and this is me saying this honestly with no shame to my name, when I be hurting on cash. So you know what it is, young and dumb is the saying, and it honestly, it stood true with me. So from gaming consoles to spare phones, I would try to make a few dollars to make ends meet when my paycheck just wasn't enough. From there, I have a brother of mine that got me super addicted to comic books. I honestly, the second that he showed me some shows he'd be into, I fell in love with the artwork and got truly addicted. We would tune into these auctions on Instagram and spend a lot of money. I mean, we'd tune in for 2 to 3 days a week. I mean, just racking up hundreds of dollars a night buying comic books with no thought in my mind that anything would come from it. And in a little bit, we're going to discuss why, to me, it wasn't that bad of an idea that I spent so much money at the time when I was doing what I was doing. So I knew nothing about comics, and I was buying a lot of trash, honestly. But just like with anything, when it becomes a hobby, after a while, you begin to kind of research it and you find out the actual reason why people collect and are into collecting comic books or whatever it is that it may be. When I realized how bad I was getting ripped off on Instagram by these sellers, my brother at the same time actually had found some auctions on YouTube, and oh man, what a game changer. From there, I jumped into an auction where there were some people selling big items for hella deals, and of course we started attending these auctions and racked up a very, very nice collection. So out of these YouTube auctions, I couldn't tell you the great deals that I was collecting at the time. So anywho, from there I jumped into an auction that I instantly clicked with these two sellers, and after a few months they actually asked me if I wanted to go on the show and try to sell some of the collection of mine that I wasn't trying to keep, or you know, just to have fun, just to hang out with them. At this time, you know, it was just, you guys know what was going around, and once you click up with somebody, it doesn't matter where they're at, you're gonna spend time talking to them. You see them 2 to 3 days a week. So you know, it was more of a let's hang out, and if you want to make some money, you know what I mean, let's do what we do. So let's just say that this was truly the beginning to my hustle story. So we used to run auctions 3 to 5 days a week, making really good money. And this is the part where I said that spending a lot in the past actually paid off for me, because I had a massive collection, and truthfully that was my inventory. At first I would honestly just keep what I liked. Anything that I had spent money on that I really wanted for myself, I would keep, and everything else I would sell. And as money would come in, I'd go hunt for more collections and keep buying, and the circle of life kept on going. You know, I'll be honest with you now, it gets to the point where I only have a certain amount of items that truly mean something to me that I keep. Everything else, honestly, it's just the whole collecting aspect of comic books actually went out the window for me. And now I honestly became a seller. So I went from collecting, and don't get me wrong, I still love comic books. If I see something that I truly need, I'm gonna pick it up. But it's not like it used to be. I mean, having to collect every single issue and every single run, it was ridiculous. But anyways, this is not the whole point of the video, isn't about comic books. So it's truthful about eBay. I'm just giving you a background of what I went through. So I'd say that with many things in life, everything was going well, and then customers stopped paying. So after they went an auction, they wouldn't pay. Other sellers that were selling with us, I don't want anyone that knows me or was with me to see these videos and think I'm ragging on them, but you know, people just started hating that they wouldn't make as much money as other sellers would. And of course, you know, the big old COVID hit, and people just had no money to spend. So on some of these auctions, you'd be sitting there for 3 to 4 hours and make 20 bucks at the end of it, when, you know, just a few weeks prior, you're sitting there for 3 to 4 hours making 800-900 bucks. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a big blow. And once that cash flow slowed down, well, at this point, all that extra income, it helps a lot, and it just couldn't be given up. And here is where my eBay and Mercari were born for me. And truthfully, this is where the video begins. This is where we're going to get started on what we're talking about. So I started with comic books, and I've always been a gamer. I've always collected retro gaming systems and a lot of games. And after selling books for about a year, I started getting into selling gaming products. And oh man, the turnaround on gaming products is great. So one quick little hint before we even start this whole starting an eBay store: if you can get your hands on retro gaming systems, that is the way to go. That is definitely the way to go. But the turnaround was great. So we're going to go ahead and discuss on how we get started with things you already own, or how to spend a little bit of money to get inventory and get your eBay deals going. You know what I mean? And of course, you could do the whole thrift store deals or take advantage of the nice little weather we're having. I don't know about you guys, but here in Chicago, summer's pretty much over. We're going to get into winter, so that whole garage sale thing kind of stops. This year, I wasn't able to do pretty much none of it. I didn't go to one garage sale. But then again, my inventory is just massive with so many things right now that I honestly have no even room for it. So, but for you, if your weather's still good, I mean, you could hit the garage sales, hit the thrift stores. And honestly, here's a little idea. What if I told you guys that you guys can get inventory for free? Yes, for free. And not only for free, but also get paid while you get your inventory. What if I told you you could start your own business, be making money from that business, and then getting your inventory from that business to make even more money on your side hustle on eBay? I hope I hope I have your attention on that. So what will your business be? What about clearing out homes? Yeah, you heard me right. It's clearing out homes. And what do you mean, gamers clearing out homes? Well, people have fires, heavy water damage, just foreclosed homes, abandoned homes. You can even make ads on Facebook and Craigslist that you will clear out homes for a few $100 as long as they supply the dumpster. And I'm telling you, you won't even imagine what people actually throw out. You know, this is from hoarders or people that are just trying to downsize. I mean, there is so much that you can do to collect inventory. And I think that is one of the best ways, because you're not dishing out anything. You're actually charging these people a few $100. So if it's a decent 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, living room, dining room home, maybe a garage or closets, whatever the situation may be, and let's say these people are hoarders or they're downsizing, and you charge them, you tell them $300 to $400 to clear out their house. They order a dumpster, and anything that's going in a dumpster that you don't want to throw out, that you know that you can make some money off of, which is almost anything in life if we're realistic. I mean, anything, you know. Here I have an Xbox 360 Wi-Fi dongle. I mean, I can make money off that. Yeah, I mean, I don't throw anything out. So I mean, there's anything that you can make money off of. So that's something to keep in mind. But anyway, let's say you went ahead and worked out how you're going to get your inventory, and you got your inventory up. So what kind of store do you want? Do you want to be a store that sticks to one product or one genre of products? Do you want to be the store that sells many products? You're almost like a general goods store. Collectibles? Maybe. Is it even a good idea to mix items on an eBay store? Well, It all depends. I personally try to stick with comics, collectibles, gaming, and with that, luckily, electronics is a match that fits in very nicely. I don't get into the home goods or the clothing unless it's like superhero related stuff or collectibles. You catch my drift. I don't really get into that. Um, but truthfully, I just don't get into it because honestly, I don't know much about it. I don't know much about clothing. I don't know about expensive perfumes, colognes, shoes, and all that. I have no clue about it. So I'm not going to get into something that I'm not informed on and then either be ripping myself off or I'm charging a hell of money thinking something's expensive and then I get a bad rep for myself. I don't want to deal with this, so I just stay out of it. So I just say you take the time to figure out what it is that you enjoy, what you wouldn't mind dealing with on a daily basis, because even though this is going to be a part-time gig, it's honestly still an everyday commitment. You know, I work a 9 to 5. I'm up at 6 in the morning getting ready for work. I'm at work by 7:30. I don't have a light job. I'm into the whole, you know, demo, you can say, kind of work. So, you know, I'm sitting here doing hard labor every single day, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. And then I come home. I have 2 young kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. I have a wife. So now I give them 2 to 3 hours of my day when I get off work, and then I'm here. I'm in this office grinding till about, it's 9 o'clock right now. And I'll probably grind till about 10 o'clock. Today's a little different because I'm making this video, so I might edit it. And even if I don't get to it, then I'll start it tomorrow. But you catch my drift. I'm in here posting listings, or I'm sitting here packaging up packages. I'm just out here doing things. So it's definitely an everyday commitment. Once you've chosen what to sell, let's talk about how to present it. So me personally, since I don't sell anything really big, like not too big in size, I'm able to use something very simple, like a white poster board, and I tape it to my photo area on my desk. And I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. Considering the fact that my items are small, I'm able to do that. And you can actually see that on the back right here. I'll show you guys here shortly. Here, you know what? Let me just do it now. I can actually show you guys if I switch over to my webcam that's actually right up here. So I'm actually gonna bring it down. So that's my photo area right there. It's nothing but a poster board taped up. Got 2 lamps, and I have two little stands that I do my pictures with. So we could actually get off this webcam. So I have 2 little stands. This here is for my comic books, fits them nicely, and this here is for a lot of the smaller things. If I have Sega games, N64 games, it all fits right here. And I can even do books on here as well, collectible cards, the whole 9 yards. So I actually do want to show you guys some of my listings before I continue to go with the rest of what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and shrink it down so it fits on the screen, and it's going to look a little weird because my monitor here is vertical. So let's go ahead and just blow it up. So check that out. This is what my listings look like. We're going to go ahead and click on it. We can go ahead and zoom in. As you guys can see, that's nothing but a white poster board all in the background. And if I lift this up a little bit, you see there's my stand. So that's an example of one of the comic books that I sell. So now if we come back and I actually show you guys the games. So if I'm selling loose games, which a lot of what the console games that I have are loose, there's some that I do have packaged, but most of them are loose games. So, and this is what they end up looking like. So I literally just take it again. We're gonna talk about this part right now, is what you need with shipping supplies. But something as simple as this, I have a little paper envelope that I put my games in if I don't have the package, and then that gets bubble wrapped and whatnot. But we'll discuss that here in a minute. But anywho, oh, wrong one. Something as simple as that. Okay. So I showed you guys the setup, and we're gonna get started on this. Big rule for me is always clean your products. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're selling. There's nothing worse than going on an eBay listing, and as you're on that eBay listing, you're trying to look for something. These people don't even take the time to clean the item. I sell consoles that don't even work, that are for parts or no good, and I clean them. I make sure that they're at least presentable. And so even if the item is in bad shape, having it clean speaks volumes of your business to a customer. And then once it's clean, you take your photos. Like I said, I take mine right there. If I do have something bigger that I'm selling, I usually like to build my own PCs as well. If I can find parts cheap, I'll build a PC and then I'll sell it. And for something like that, I mean, I have a nice desk. I spent the money, and which, by the way, if you turn this into a legit business, you can claim everything. I spent like $200 and something to build my desk. Guess what? That I could claim that on my taxes. You know what I mean? So that's an expense. But for bigger products, I'll just use the desk. I'll set it up, make sure something looks nice in the background, and do it that way. So once you've already taken your pictures, and everything's super clean, you have to show the item in detail. So you saw the disc, and we'll go right back to it. So let's go right here. Okay, so here's the disc. Once photos are taken, show the item in detail and present any defects. Present them all, and I'll stop here to say it. Don't try to be the type of seller that hides issues. Show them in the pictures or write in your description, and then price accordingly. Unless you rip yourself off and you paid, let's say you paid $20 for this game, and let's say that for any reason this here is scratched up, or the disc is super scratched up. Don't try to hide it. Like me and my listings. So down here, it's going to say it. All games are used and have no original cases. These items are sold in a CD sleeve and will be well protected. Items shipped first class unless you ask otherwise, or for other options. And here's where I write it. Let me try to see if I can't. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one again. See if I can't blow this up for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Here we go. So games are in use condition and so might have scratches. Pictures don't capture them at times. All items have been tested and cleaned and are in working order unless otherwise stated. I have nothing to hide from anyone. I don't have to hide what it is that I'm selling them. I'm not trying to lie to anyone or deceive anyone. I'm trying to make a living. And if you're trying to make a living, you have to do what's right. So for me, it is not that complicated to do that. And one thing I'm going to tell you there is, like I said, I'm going to stop here and say it. Don't be that seller. Tell people there's defects. I tell them all the time, this disc is super scratched. But guess what? I have an Xbox 360. I've tested it. I have a PlayStation 2. I have a PlayStation 1. I have a Sega Genesis. I'm going to test everything once I've cleaned it. And if it works, I sell it. If it doesn't work, for example, I have 2 discs here. Haven't even posted them. All right. One of them is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Okay. I don't have an Xbox One. I cannot test it. And if you look at the ring, I have a pen or something here. If you look at the ring right there, there's a defect. I don't know what that is. Sorry, this is backwards. I don't know what that is. That little spot right there. So until I can test it, also the same thing with this one. This is Cabela's African Adventures. Okay. There's a defect right on top. All on the top. I don't know if this works. So until I find someone that has an Xbox One that I can say, hey man, can you test these out for me? Or I say screw it and buy the money. And let me phrase that. I do have an Xbox One, but it's not working. It's broken. I have it all taken apart right now. It just turns on and then shuts right back off. But that one did come out of a fire, so I don't expect it to work. So unless I get that thing up and running or go and purchase one just to have it to test games out, we're never gonna know. So again, just do your homework. Make sure you tell them any defects, take the pictures correctly, take every angle of the pictures, to say things as basic as these. But some people honestly don't know, and if it's your first time getting onto it, you'll never know. You'll never understand it. So here we got the Sega Genesis games. Okay, this Zombies here game, it's a very popular game. It's about $30. This one's about $10, $5, about $5. This one here is, I believe, about $6-7, and this one here is like $3. So I have the listing up for a good price. But you have the picture of the fronts. You got the pictures of the back. You got the pictures from the top view, because obviously they're labeled and people are going to want to see that. Then we go to the actual cartridges themselves so that they can see all the pins inside the cartridge. And then same thing on the other half. And this here, you might think it's actually damaged, but it's not. That's just how the game is. It's only written on these, or this is the only thing that reads the game when you put it into the Sega. And like I said, I've tested them all out. So something is that simple as show every angle of it. So once it's all done, now let's talk about shipping. And to me, these are very important supplies that you're going to need. and I'm just gonna give you a basic little rule, and not even a rule, a basic little list, and then you guys will obviously, depending on what kind of store you're starting or what items you're going to be selling, you'll obviously have to put a little more into this, and get what you're actually going to need. But for me, it's a scale, which is super cheap. I got one from Walmart for like 15 bucks, and it works. It's a nice little scale, nice little kitchen scale. Looks good on my desk. I keep it right on top of my printer, which I'll show you guys the layout here in a second of how I have my office set up, because I'm obviously a gamer as well. I love to game, so I have my main gaming station, I have my printing station for shipping labels, my packaging I should say, I have my photograph area, and then I keep a table here at the bottom that I actually use to put the boxes in while I'm packaging. So anywho, you need a scale, a ruler, a tape measure, bubble wrap or foam or both. Then you're going to need envelopes, boxes, and these are various sizes of all these, poly mailers. One thing I can say is just, and for me that's honestly it. You know, I mean, I have the fragile stickers, the do not bend stickers. For my comic books, is I put stickers on there that says do not bend, don't bend this, you know what I mean? And for the other ones, which are electronics, video games, anything else, I just use the fragile stickers. And don't be that cheap seller that doesn't want to invest in shipping. I've also watched the videos myself of, just like I'm making now, of people that have been doing this and make a hell of money on it. And one thing that I've noticed is they all try to show you how to be cheap on shipping. I don't believe in that. I believe that if you're going to get back what you put in. Okay. So again, don't be the cheap seller that doesn't invest in the shipping. The customer pays the shipping. And honestly, you can even make a few bucks profit from shipping. So aside from what you've already bought for shipping that you include in your shipping price, you can still make a few bucks, and I'll discuss that shortly here. My number one opinion is that if you want to succeed and be great at something, then do great things when it comes to that you want to achieve in. The one thing I'm most proud of on my store, which I'll show you guys here in a second, is my rating and my reviews. I always get great shipping, you know, and that I'm a great seller, and that alone will motivate you to continue to do things right. So once you purchase all your materials, always protect your investment within reason and be mindful of the overall weight, so that you'll honestly never lose on shipping on an item. So, but before we get into this whole price thing of shipping, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys my ratings, just because to me, they speak volumes. And honestly, I get very happy with my ratings. And mind you, I've been doing this for so long, and not everybody's going to rate you. So that kind of sucks as well. But let's go ahead and zoom in. It says that I have 145 people have rated me. Okay. 69 positive, 1 neutral, and 1 negative. And I know I shouldn't show this, but I'm going to show it anyways because it pisses me off. So here are my positives. Okay. So here's a game. Game works and was shipped pretty quick. Thanks. A++++. Great seller. Fast shipping. Super Nintendo console with 3 games. Perfect. Fast shipping. Nintendo Switch charger. And then check this guy out. I sold him a Metal Gear Solid PS1 long box game. It was a disc and manual only, the damaged cover art, you know, whatever. I want to preface, he said this, by saying that I've ordered games valued at over $300, and I personally run an eBay games electronics store. I ordered a simple long box copy of MGS, which is Metal Gear Solid, around a $30 game from this seller. I can honestly say I've never sent nor received such a well-packaged item. Great seller, went above and beyond. I'm making sure this item was well protected. AAA++. You have no idea how happy that makes me as the seller and as this is my store. But now let me show you a neutral one. Okay. So I test all my games. All right. This game worked. I tested it. I put it in the Xbox 360, which is sitting right below me right now. I can show you I have the console. Okay. I sold this guy a copy of Black Ops 3. Okay. And he said he left me a neutral. Instead of messaging me personally and not affecting my eBay store, he messaged me and said, hey, my game disc isn't reading properly. So of course I responded and I said, hey, you know, that's weird. I tested it, you know, just send it back for a full refund. I never heard back from him, which means that his console must have not been reading the disc, or maybe I left some handprints on it when I packaged it, which is my fault. and maybe he cleaned it, put it back in, it was working perfectly fine, because he never filed for the refund. Okay, that's number one. Never filed for the refund. And then I sent them a thing to fix the rating. Like, can you at least change the rating if you're not going to take a refund, because obviously something's wrong there. And then I'm going to show you the one thing that you're going to deal with when you have an eBay store that pisses me off, because I was at 100% good rating. Forget the neutral. I don't think that messes anything up. I have one negative rating, and I'm going to show you this clown. So I have a bunch of hard drives. I still have some that I'm selling. These are Western Digital Red 6 terabyte drives, super expensive drives. And I gave him a hell of a deal of $360. Okay, each drive is like, you can possibly get $100 per drive. Okay, so I give him a deal of $360 for the drives. Mind you, after 3 days he didn't pay, so I canceled his order. It's the right thing to do. This guy says seller canceled order for 6 drives. What? And so I write back, I said, I'm sorry if you feel the order was canceled unjustly. After 3 attempts to reach out to you for payment, I canceled the order. I strive to keep a good rating, so it would have been nice of you to message me and let me know you just needed more time. Keeping items listed is very important. If someone doesn't pay, it's not fair to other customers looking for the same items. Again, sorry, okay? Now, mind you, okay? Mind you, that this guy decided, and I actually can't show it to you because it's going to show the people's personal information, $360 to him, which he didn't pay for. And just like I stated to him, that it is unfair for other people that want to buy it, I ended up making $450 off those 6 drives instead of $360, you know? And now I deserve a negative rating for that. It's so ridiculous, but that's the kind of things that you guys are going to be dealing with when it comes to eBay, and there's nothing you can do about it. So anywho, like I was saying, guys, there's a way to make profit on shipping. We're going to get right back to shipping. Okay. And, it's all about the weight. So you have to protect your investment, which is your inventory. So you have to make sure that it's well protected, but don't go above and beyond. I'm not going to say above and beyond. Always go above and beyond. Don't go overboard. So the way that eBay works is anything under 16 ounces, which is a pound. So usually it's 15 ounces. If it hits that 16 ounce, that's considered a pound. So anything 15 ounces and lower usually can go first class, which will cost you around $3.42 to about $7, depending on the state. Me living in Chicago, if I ship something to Florida or New York or California, it's going to cost me a hell of a lot more than it's going to if I'm sending it to Michigan or Indiana or, you know what I mean, anywhere close, Arizona. It's not going to cost as much. Okay. So depending on where you live, it's cheaper. The second that you go over that pound, now you're up to priority. Okay. And you can choose FedEx and everything else, but obviously and honestly, eBay has the best deal with USPS. So what I do is I order my supplies from USPS. And what I'm actually going to do for you guys, so all you have to do is go to shop and you go to shipping supplies. Okay. This is all going to be free. They're going to give you all the supplies for free. $0 here. $0, $0, $0. So me personally, I get a lot of priority mail envelopes, padded envelopes, which it kind of sucks because this one's cheaper. This is like $7 and some cents to ship. This one here is like $8 and something. And then I also make sure that I always get the priority mail flat rate legal envelope. So I just made a sale that I have here. And these are 2 HDMI to VGA cables for whether it's TVs, computers, whatever you're doing. This is a legal flat rate envelope. Okay. Flat rate legal is the term. Okay. So that's actually cheaper to send than the padded envelope from USPS. So that's why I always have those, because I send a lot of comic books out. They're expensive comic books. I send them out in that after I put them inside of Gemini. But then anywho, then I also get the small boxes. I also get the medium flat rate boxes, and I get the medium flat this way because these books. So if you don't know nothing about comic books, these are graded comic books. They come in a plastic. They're called slabs. They're graded comic books. They don't fit in the rectangular or square, I mean, should I say box like this, they fit only in these. And then I also get large boxes. So eBay has a hell of a great deal with USPS when it comes to this. And you got to remember, the customer is always going to pay. The only time that I don't make money off shipping, which is a lot of money, is if I'm shipping priority, because a medium box costs about well, I'm not going to say I don't, because I do. I make almost $2 or a dollar something. A medium box costs you, if you're shipping through eBay, about $14.25 or $14.75, something like that. To a normal customer without using eBay, it's going to cost you about $16. So I charge $15.99 to $16 to ship that item. I'm only going to pay $14.25, so I'm making about $1.50, $1.75 from just the shipping alone. Now, of course, if I'm selling a big item, it's free shipping. If I know I'm selling an item for $400 or $500, I'm not going to charge you $16. I'm just going to pay that myself, you know. But again, you also want to have, aside from priority, you want to have your own boxes. So I have smaller boxes. Literally go to Walmart and buy for a few cents. So this one here is an 11 by 7.5 by 5.5. Let me go back to my video, because right now I'm looking at my notes. I'm not watching what I'm showing. So there it is. Okay, this is a decent box for a lot of things that I ship myself. But again, I don't do a lot of big items. The biggest items I do are consoles, and a lot of those fit in boxes like this that I get from Walmart. But they're just bigger, and it doesn't cost me much to ship out a Super Nintendo with 3 games. It cost me like $10 or something cents, and that was priority. So you also get good deals when you're shipping your own stuff priority. They really get you when it's something that's like this, for example. You know, this is why you have to make sure that you stay on top of your game, because these cords, I had them for sale for $5.99 a piece. I only had 2 of them, brand new in a package. The guy sent me an offer to buy both of them for $4 a piece. I said yes, and then but I didn't update his shipping. So once he already paid me the $6 for shipping, and this is what I'll get into here in a second. So I didn't realize that both the cables together weighed more than a pound. I got screwed on having to pay extra for the shipping. He only paid me $6. That ended up costing me like $7 and something cents, or $8 and something cents. So I lost out on like $2.05, but I make it up in every sale that I make, so it's not a big deal. So but you want to have your own boxes, everything, okay? And if they're going to ship it to you for free, why not? Okay, now on your first class is where you're going to make a lot of your shipping money. So, and this is extra money that I'm talking about. This is not just, and the customer's always going to pay it, especially if you have a reputation of sending things out properly, they're going to pay it. So let's say, for example, a normal, let's say 8-ounce package costs about $3.42, because you're an eBay seller, you're selling through eBay. Me, myself, I don't charge ever less than $6, unless it's a small PSP game or something, which I don't have. They're actually in the box down there that I was actually just posting for sale today. So unless it's like a 2-ounce item, then I'll charge like $4.90, whatever. I'll make $1 off it. Anything else, like every single comic book usually weighs around 4 ounces to 5 ounces. And then once it's in the bag and board and it's inside the Gemini that I make, which I'll actually post a video later. If you are a comic book guy, I'm going to show you how to make your own Gemini mailers instead of having to pay $50 for 25 of them. You know what I mean? But anywho, give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. One of my kids was waking up. So where was I? Shipping first class, $6. That's what I charge for everything that I sell. It's just the way it goes. So usually if it's like $3.42, I'm usually banking, as you can see it right here, it's $2.50 for the book, it's $6 shipping. So I always tell people to load up their books. You can combine shipping. So if they combine shipping, I could probably fit, I want to say 2 to 3 books for that $6 price. After that, and that's me losing that profit that I'm making from the shipping, of course, but I don't mind, you know. Once they get a few books in there, now you're hitting a pound, and obviously we got to negotiate the shipping price. People are going to pay if you're doing what is right, and I ship my products right. So one other thing that I want to get into really quick when it comes to this whole selling on eBay, laws have changed. Okay, so we've discussed your products, And I'm sorry guys, I need to fix this camera angle. I can never sit high enough. So we've discussed products that you want to sell. We didn't get too much into no examples on how to get the product except for a few. Maybe I'll do videos down the road on how I get my inventory aside from what I've already accumulated. But we said thrift store, we've said garage sales. I give you guys a great idea on starting a business that are going to make you money, which is kind of what I do, but we'll get into that another day. Of cleaning people's houses out, foreclosed houses. Go talk to mitigation companies, restoration companies. If they have a fire where they need to throw everything out, tell them like, hey, you know what? I can do that for you for way less than what it's going to cost your employees to do it. If they're paying these guys $20 an hour and it's going to take them a full week to do it, if you're going to sit there and put in 10 hours a day, you can get it done in 3 days, charge him way less than what he's going to be paying these guys. I mean, come on, do the math. Why wouldn't they do it? Okay. So anywho, we've discussed that. So we've discussed how to get your product, what kind of store you want. We've discussed what you're going to need for shipping. We've discussed you being a clean business owner where your products are clean. We've discussed to ship it right. We've discussed the prices of shipping, how to get some extra money from shipping. Now let's discuss how you're going to document all this, because laws have changed. So right now at the moment, anything you sell over $600, and this is for the year, this isn't one product that you sold for $600, you're going to get taxed on it. eBay used to be like, if you're not making more than like 10 grand in a year, they wouldn't send you a tax form. Now, if you make $600 in a year, you got to pay taxes on that. So I'm going to link a video down in the description down below. Hopefully I remember to do it. If not, just let me know in the comments and I'll hurry up and add it to the video. But I'm going to show you guys what I do and link a video that'll show you exactly how to do this right here, because I was not good at no Word or Excel sheets, none of that. And this guy makes it very, very, very simple. And this is how you do it. So I started selling again just in April. I've taken a long break. This year I just started in April. Okay. And let's go ahead and zoom you guys in just a little bit so you can kind of see what we're dealing with here. So I started just recently back in April 13, 2022. I've taken a huge long break. You know what I mean? Product numbers. So what I use as my product numbers is my sale numbers from whether eBay, Mercari, whatever it is. I also do live auctions on Whatnot. I haven't done one in a few months because it started dying out. People are getting super cheap on it, so I just kind of X-nay from it. But I do want to get back. I do want to get back into it because Whatnot sends you cool exclusives, or you're like a good seller on there. And I was a great seller on there. But anywho, so you have your date, the name of your product. You have the product number, which for me, like I said, is my eBay number or Mercari number or Whatnot number that is associated with that sale. The platform that I sold it in. You got your sale price. This is what I sold it for. And as you can see, in just from April to we're in September now, I've already made almost $7,000. It's $6,851. Then from there on, we got our platform fee, which is what eBay, Mercari, or whoever's going to charge you. From there, we have our shipping fee, which here for Whatnot and for Mercari, you're not going to see them because the customer pays the shipping. Now for eBay, it's a little different because eBay technically gives you the money for shipping and then the money comes out of your pocket for shipping. So either way you're paying for shipping, they're just giving you the money up front. So it's weird. Mercari doesn't take it from your actual net in pocket, let's say, that you're getting from them. So shipping fee. Then you got your net in pocket, which is going to be your shipping fee and platform fee minus your sale price, gets your net in pocket. And then you got your cost of goods. This is what the item cost you. You sold it for this, minus this will give you your profit. Currently, which is so crazy. Okay, I've made 6 grand, almost $6,854. My platform fees have been $1,000. My shipping fees have been $823. My net in pocket has been $5,026. But then what the items cost me, they've cost me $5,886. So mind you, this is stuff that I've already had, that I've already spent money on or spent no money on. That's mine. Okay. you subtract your cost of goods sold for your net profit, I'm technically under $859. So for me, technically, when I go to file taxes, I'm not gonna owe any taxes because I've sold for under. Anything in parentheses is something that I've took a loss on. You know, a lot I've made profit on, but I've taken big hits on big items that I just didn't. Number one, needed the money, or number two, I put on auction and they sold for way less than they were supposed to. So it's a gamble. You know what I mean? But for me, it's different because let's say if let's say I was out shopping, okay, and I'm out hunting for inventory. If I pay $5 for something, I don't care how long I sit on it for. It's not leaving my site for under $5. I'm either going to break even or I'm going to make $1, $2 to $5 to $10 profit. Now, for me in this scenario, this is stuff that I've had and accumulated for years. I've been doing comic books for over 3 to 4 years. So for me, it's also a little bit different because when it comes to taxes, you got to learn how you're going to do the system. Okay. And some people might look at it bad, get in the comments, talk everything that you want to talk. If I buy a comic book collection for $2,000 and I end up getting, let's say, I don't know, 900 to 1,200 books for $1,000. Okay. Let's say I paid $1, a little bit more than $1 a book. I'm not going to sit here and put under my cost of goods that this book cost me $1 or it cost me $2 unless I physically paid $1 to $2 for that book. Now, the good thing is that I have records of what I've personally bought from YouTube auctions, Instagram auctions. But when it comes to buying collections from Craigslist, OfferUp, whatever it is, I don't have a number for that book. So what I do is I research the book. What did the book sell 2 years ago? What is the book selling for now? Whatever the lowest number is that that book is selling for, well, guess what? That was my cost of goods. So if the book is selling for $10 today, 2 years ago was selling for $50, that book to me is $10. I paid $10 for that book. But let's say I sold it for $30. I only made a $20 profit. Instead of saying, hey, I paid $1 for this book, I sold it for $30, I made $29 profit. You catch my drift? So when it comes to your own personal items that you technically don't have receipts for, that is the game, is you have to always place it under the lowest amount, whether the lowest amount was years ago or the lowest amount is today. You always have to go with the lowest number for the IRS. It's that simple. So I keep it at the lowest. Right now, I'm at a negative. Okay. Now, not only do you have to keep records of your sales, you also have to keep records of your expenses. So everything that you see in green is all the books that I've sold. So this is all the books. And technically, you're supposed to put them in there when you buy them. So you should have a list of your complete inventory. I don't like to do that because I don't want the IRS to know that, hey, my inventory is this much. Okay. So what I do is I place my inventory as I sell my books. So I sold this book. It goes into my inventory for what I paid. My inventory was at a total of cost of inventory, $5,888. Inventory left is $0. You know, I might add things here or there as I buy them. So I still go on auctions. I still buy books. If I win an auction on eBay, I'll put it in there. And once I sell it, for example, let's see if it's in here. If I can find it fast. If not, I'll forget about it. I'm looking for one of the graded books. So, and not even, here's Invincible 1 and 2 Whatnot exclusive. So I got that from Whatnot. You see no money here because I got that for free and I actually sold it for like $300 something. That's the good thing about Whatnot, is if you're a good seller on there, they give you exclusives that are worth a crap ton of money. So I'm not gonna find it right away. But anywho, there was a graded book that I bought from Mercari, I believe, or it was eBay, and it did sell for a loss. But that doesn't matter. Either way, it was somewhere up here in the list. It was all white, and then obviously once I sold it, I put it as green, okay, because it's sold. So some inventory is placed in there, but I'm not going to sit here and put my entire inventory on there. There's no reason for that. And then on top of that, you want to have your expenses. So far year to date from 4/14, my expenses are at $3,765. So now if you take my expenses, Peanut, if you take my expense, let me let the dog out real quick. Your expenses with your loss, for me, for example, I'm technically under like $4,000, you know, but you got Microsoft Office, you got, you know, my invisible tape, package tape, yellow labels. You know, I got my Canon camera, my computers, my monitors, the desks, everything that I bought, business cards, the whole 9 yards. Okay. On top of that, if people do refunds, you get to put those as expensive because you just bought it. I got my HP ink. I even have giveaways, so I do giveaways on Whatnot. And I even put my giveaways here, shipping for giveaway. I'll put an expense for the shipping, and I'll put an expense on the books that I give away and their value. Somebody got a value of $120 of giveaways on books. That's all an expense to me. That's why I don't mind doing it, because it's all an expense. An auction fee for eBay. I'm not sure this should go here or here, but technically it's a fee that I'm paying every time I put an item on auction. This one was only $1. It goes in there. So you want to keep track of everything, just because, especially right now with the whole political thing where now they just got 87,000 new IRS workers. Us small businesses, we're going to suffer for that. They're going to be auditing. So you want to make sure that you keep a good track record of what it is that you're doing. And like I said, for me, if the IRS tries to say, well, hey, we're going to audit you when we need receipts for all those books that you claim that you lost on. Well, guess what? They're from my collection. I've been collecting this stuff for years. I don't have receipts. So now it's their burden to prove to me that the book wasn't worth that value. And if they go and research it, what I said I pay for is way under what people are asking for it now. So of course they're going to be like, okay, well, he's saying that he paid only $10 for it, but we see that its value is $30-$40 consistently. If they were to give me that $30-$40, well, guess what? Now I'm under even more. So obviously once they go through a few, they're going to be like, all right, this guy's good. And it is what it is. So just keep good records. And I guess to just end it all, because we have been going for almost an hour, is be clean about your products. Okay. Be mindful on your shipping. Okay. Above and beyond, but don't go overboard. Okay. Make sure that you're staying within those guidelines on weight. Okay. Get your shipping supplies. All right. Don't be trying to use bubble mailers that you've had sitting in there from packages that you bought that are 4 years old. It just looks tacky. You know, unless I have an odd shaped item, like I'll use an Amazon box of something that I have, and whatnot. But usually, man, I just want it to look neat. I do a lot of black poly mailers, black bubble mailers. So these are for like small games. I just like the look of black with the labels. And I don't have one here that I actually have to ship one if the guy already paid for it. Actually, did he pay for it yet? Yeah, he paid. So this guy just bought a Sega game for like $26. And what I do with those is I'll wrap it in bubble wrap, put some cardboard over it, and then I'll stick it in here so that the game doesn't get destroyed. And then I do black poly mailers because black just looks good with a white label and then the red stickers. It just looks nice. So, you know, be professional. You know, if you're going to sell something, I'm not going to tell you to stick to one thing. I don't think that makes sense. Yeah, it looks better for your store because, for example, me, I go comic, video game, comic, video game, comic. Here's a Dell, some type of computer component, whatever it is, you know? So, I mean, mentally, it doesn't look all that great on your store, but I don't have a problem because when my comics aren't selling, my games are selling. When my games aren't selling, my electronics are selling. So I always just keep it going so that I'm always making at least a few dollars a day, you know? So just get your store in order, figure out what you want, find out where you want to get these products. If you live in an area where your thrift store is awesome, then great. I've done it. I don't have good luck. My area doesn't have good thrift stores. Same thing with garage sales. I just haven't had the time to go this year. But if that works for you, man, by all means do it. If you can find people that are selling comic book collections for cheap, get into that. I'm going to start posting videos on the way that you do things with comic books, the way you do them with video games, electronics. I'm going to start posting a lot more, and maybe you can follow me and we can do this thing together, make this bread together. But other than that, like I said, just stay focused. It's going to be a part-time gig, but it's going to be an everyday thing. It's going to be consistent. You know, you can't, I hate to say, but you can't take a day off. You will. It's just like me this weekend. Sunday? No. There was no way in hell that I was sitting in front of my computer doing anything. Absolutely nothing. You know, there comes a time where your brain is just ready to explode, and all you can do is just sit back and say, you know what? I'm taking a day off, especially with my kids. I'm in here so much, my son will come up to me like, Daddy, me? like saying, "Hey, daddy," with me, and he'll come grab me and pull my arm to just get the hell out of the office, because you're doing it for them, but at the same time, you can't give up what you have with them for this, you know. And then that's my whole thing. It's just learn how to balance it, but make it fun. I love what I do. I love reading over my reviews. I love being professional, and it gives me motivation to do what it is that I'm doing. And one day I hope to do this so well that I can give up my 9 to 5. I make good money at my 9 to 5, but it's not enough. This is why I do this. Especially right now, the times that we're living, you know, I'm spending $250 a week on gas just to get to work. You know what I mean? The groceries, it's insane. It's all insane. Like, either way, that's a whole nother video. I'm not even gonna go into that. All I want to say is thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you stayed with me throughout the whole video, awesome, man. Thank you. I know it was a long one, but I feel like it was somewhat informative, and it's coming from someone that as you can see, I'm living basic. All right, I'm doing the best that I can. And actually, before we go, there is one last thing I have to show you guys, because I said that I would. I told you I'd show you my setup a little bit. So this is obviously my gaming setup. This is where I do my things. There's my little baby computer right there. That's my girl. This is where I do my things for my gaming and obviously using the computer. Here is my printer, shipping labels. That's printing paper. And over here, I think I'm actually running out. I have to buy some more. I actually have the sticky shipping labels that just go straight through the printer, so I don't have to cut the paper out and tape it. There's my pictures, and I used to have all my inventory running all down here. Okay, but I said screw that, and I took it all upstairs in a spare bedroom. The only thing I have here is stuff that sells fast. In that brown box, I have video games. In this box right here is the comic books that I brought down here to actually start posting that are not posted. As you can see, I have this stack that I already did, and I still have to go through these stacks, which I'm going to do tomorrow, not today. And actually, no, this is the video game. So I just posted these today. I keep them all like that. The PlayStation 2 is for parts. I don't have the power cord. I can't test it. It's sold as is. And here are all the games. You know, even my Sega games, I put in these. And that's just for me not to make a mess. And actually, let me look at the game that I paid for. We'll take that out. Get that shipped out. There it is. This bad boy right here. It's actually like a $34 game. I sent him an offer for $29.99, and he counter offered me $26, and I was like, you know what? I need the money. Let's pop it off. So that's just how I do it, man. I try to keep what sells fast down here, and at the same time try to minimize the mess in my office. And this is where I keep all my little. These are for sale too, except for the Power Rangers. That's not for sale. The VHSs are not for sale. That's Batman. Ninja Turtle VHSs, I will not sell those. And then some artwork that I got from my brothers. But that's it, man. I mean, that's how my office is. It's that simple. I sit here, and actually I'll show you one more thing. And this table right here, this is the table that I literally just pull out, just like this. And this is where I do my packaging. I'll put my box, my bubble wrap, I'll do the whole 9 yards. Don't mind this mess. This is the wife's setup. This is where she does all her little arts and crafts. But on that table right there, I just keep it right there. I pull it out when I need it, and I literally wrap my product, do whatever it is that I have to do. Sometimes I do have to cut those, even the sticky labels, if they're going on a small bubble mailer. I'll use that. I'll use a ruler, cut them precisely, and then do my thing. You know, inside of my closet over here, that's where I keep my already posted comic books, so that way I can just take them out, you know, and do my thing. But yeah, we're at 59 minutes. I think this is a little too long. I just hope you guys learned something, or got ideas for something, or just feel more comfortable by listening to somebody talk about doing it. It's not that hard. As you guys can see, I've already made almost 8 grand this year. And to me, yes, technically that was all profit, because it's stuff that I've already owned that the money that I paid for is way gone, been gone. So to me right now, it's none of it means nothing. Any dollar is a profit for me right now. But obviously I'm $800 down, you know what I mean? Which is good for me. I was able to use the money as it's coming in, and then I don't have to worry about taxes at the end of the year. So anywho, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did and you learned something, give the video a like, subscribe. There's going to be more content like this. And if you have any questions, just comment down below. You know what I mean? I'll be more than happy to help you guys out with anything. And I will see you guys on the next video soon. So again, it's your boy Gamers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.